Ghadirakhm incident is a reflection of which historical story in the Quran? Was Ali ibn Abi Talib a usurper of the government, or did he deserve it? Who and why started the Saqifah movement? The hadith of Ghadir is one of the frequent hadiths that Shia and Sunni agree on. According to this hadith, in the 10th year of Hijri, after performing the farewell Hajj ceremony, on the 18th day of the Hajj, the Prophet ordered to stop at a place called Ghadirakhm, and after reciting a long sermon he said, "Whoever I am the master of, then Ali is also his master." Verse 67 of Surah Ma'idah was also revealed to confirm this. It means, "O Messenger, convey what has been revealed to you from your Lord, and if you do not do it, you have not conveyed his message, and God will protect you from the people." Indeed, God does not guide the group of disbelievers. It is very clear that what is meant by Mullah is the guardian and the successor, and it is not believed that despite all the clear evidence, no fair scholar will have the slightest doubt about this. So here this basic question is raised. Why did the people forget everything after the death of the beloved messenger of Islam, when only 2 months and a few days had passed since the important event of Ghadirakhm? And most importantly, why did the Ansar, who had a very bright history in Islam, and did not hesitate to sacrifice their lives and wealth in the path of the exaltation and progress of Islam, first of all gathered in Saqifah to appoint a successor for Muhammad? If the Prophet Muhammad appointed Ali, peace be upon him, as his successor by the order of revelation, then what can this event mean from the people closest to the Prophet? Dear friends, please stay with us until the end of this questionable video to get the right answer and analysis of this incident. Perhaps the first historical answer to this important question can be found in this narration of Hazrat Muhammad, which says, "My nation, they step in the footsteps of the Israelites, just as one of the 2 shoes, comfortably, is cut to the size of the other." It means that all the events of previous nations are happening in my nation. Among the historical events that were repeated in the Ummah of Prophet Muhammad is the story of Prophet Moses and the Samaritan Calf. The story of the Samaritan Calf is mentioned 4 times in the Holy Quran, in Surahs Baqarah, Nisa, Araf, and in Surah Taha. According to the narrations, after the salvation and liberation of the Israelites from Pharaoh and his companions and their drowning, God sent a revelation to Prophet Moses that the Torah and tablets would be revealed to him within 30 days. Therefore, Prophet Musa appointed his brother Harun as a successor among the Israelites and then moved to Mount Tor. The Quran has told this story in verse 142 of Surah Araf that, "And we made a promise with Moses for 30 nights, and we finished it with another 10 nights, until the appointed time of his Lord came in 40 nights. And Musa said to his brother Harun, while going to Mount Thor, 'Be my successor among my people and correct their actions, and do not follow the way of the corrupt.'" The most important issue that can be seen in this verse is the issue of caliphate. In this way, Musa, PBUH, appoints his brother Harun as his caliph and then goes to Mount Tor. The behavior that the Bani Israel should have shown was to obey the orders of Prophet Aaron, but they stopped obeying Aaron and became calf worshippers in the last days of Prophet Moses' return from God's presence, with the Samaria sedition. In verses of Surah Taha, a Samaria is mentioned as someone who misleads the Israelites. A Samaria was among the people who left Egypt with Moses and the Israelites. In appearance, he is a believer and is considered one of the elders of Bani Israel. In some traditions, Samaria is mentioned as a generous man, and it is interesting to know that his name is mentioned 3 times in the Quran. Many researchers have considered him a hypocrite who pretended to believe but was actually one of the calf worshippers. As we said, the delay in the return of Moses caused Samaria, accompanied by Iblis and using the ornaments and gold of the Bani Israel, to make a calf that emitted a special sound that was mentioned in the Quran. In addition to making a calf, he invited people to worship this idol. After the extension of the miqat of Prophet Moses from 30 nights to 40 nights, and the rumor of the death of Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, which was spread by some hypocrites among the people, also the ignorance of this congregation, along with the cleverness and skill and force of the Samaria, in preparing a calf that special sound was coming out, in addition to the fact that this idol was made of gold and ornaments, that people were attracted to gold enthusiasts due to the continuous deprivations and the existence of the materialistic spirit of the Israelites, all of which caused idolatry in a short period of time, and calf worship spread among the Israelites. God continues this story in verse 150 of Surah Araf as follows, "And when Musa, angry and sad, returned to his people, he said, 'What a bad substitute you were for me after me. Did you exceed the command of your Lord?' And he threw down the plates and grabbed his brother's head and pulled him to his side. Harun said, 'O son of my mother, this people found me weak and there was nothing left to kill me, so don't make me an enemy and don't count me among the wrongdoers.'" One of the closest similar events to the story of Prophet Musa that happened in history was the story of Ghadir and the process of determining the caliphate of Prophet Muhammad. During this incident, the Islamic Ummah violated Ali's right to caliphate under the leadership of the closest companions, showing that when they attacked Ali's house for forced allegiance and put a rope on his neck, Ali referred to Prophet Harun's answer to Moses, Pibu, and said, "O son of my mother, these people found me weak and there was nothing left to kill me." It is interesting that everyone had heard that Muhammad always said to Ali, "You are to me as Aaron was to Moses, except that there will be no prophet after me." This narration became known as Hadith Manzlat. It is mentioned in the most reliable books of Sunnis, i.e. Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, and Sahih. The story of Saqifah literally means canopy. Bani Saedeh Saqifah was a covered place in the form of a platform or canopy. This place in Medina belonged to the Bani Saedeh tribe from the Khazraj tribe, which before the migration of Prophet Muhammad to Medina, some Arab clans used to gather there to consult and decide some matters, but after the migration of the Prophet, for 10 years, was not applicable, and once again at the time of the Prophet's death, a gathering was formed in it to determine the successor. After the death of Prophet Muhammad on 28th Safar of the 11th year of Hijri, a number of Ansar gathered in the Saqifa of Bani Saedeh. Zubair bin Awam, Talha, Ali bin Abi Talib and his companions were gathered in Fatima's house. 3 of the emigrants, including Abu Bakr bin Abi Quhafa, Umar bin Khattab, and Abu Abida Jarrah, who came to know about this gathering, took themselves to the Saqifa. Apart from these 3 people, a group of 2 tribes, Aus and Khazraj, along with their leader Sa'd bin Ubadah, one of the companions of the Prophet and the head of the Bani Saedeh and Khazraj clans, were present in the Saqifa gathering while he was sick. The discussion started, and at first each group expressed their virtues and considered themselves more deserving of the caliphate than the other group. One of the Ansar said about the virtues of the Ansar, and Abu Bakr in his speech accepted the virtues of the immigrants and said that after the death of the Prophet, the Arabs will only obey a person from his own tribe, and the Ansar cannot maintain the society created by Muhammad. After this did not work, Abu Bakr asked both groups to avoid differences and pointed to Umar ibn Khattab and Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah and asked the crowd to pledge allegiance to one of them. At this moment, Umar said that we do not deserve to become the caliph of the Muslims, despite the existence of a person like you. Then, at this time, Habab ibn Manzar from the Ansar and from the fighters of the Badr War suggested that 2 candidates be elected, one from the Ansar and the other from the Muhajirin. After the noise and excitement of the group fell asleep, Umar asked Abu Bakr to raise his hand and pledge allegiance to him. Following him, other emigrants and Ansar also pledged allegiance to Abu Bakr. After that, the Bani Islamians, who were a branch of the Khazarians, came to Medina in large numbers and pledged allegiance to Abu Bakr. After the Saqifa incident, the Prophet's family and some of the emigrants and Ansar opposed the pledge of allegiance to Abu Bakr, and some such as Hazrat Ali, Hazrat Fatima, Fazl and Abdullah, the sons of Abbas, the Prophet's uncle, as well as some famous companions of the Prophet, such as Salman Farsi, Abu Dhar Ghafari, Muqdad ibn Amr, and Zubair bin Awam, protested the Saqifa Council and its result. and many companions and Quraysh elders repeatedly pointed out Abu Bakr's incompetence to succeed the Prophet. Hazrat Ali did not pledge allegiance to Abu Bakr on the day of Saqifah, and after that, there is a difference of opinion among historians regarding the acceptance of allegiance and the time of allegiance. Even some Shia scholars believe that Ali never pledged allegiance to Abu Bakr. According to some sources, Ali, during a mild but frank debate with Abu Bakr, condemned him for ignoring the right of Muhammad's al-Bayt, to the point where Abu Bakr was transformed by accepting Ali's arguments and went as far as pledging allegiance to Ali ibn Abi Talib, but with the intervention of some, his companions refused to do so. Consequences of the Saqifah incident. Some analysts consider many historical events after the Prophet's death to be the result of the Saqifah incident, including invasion to the house of Hazrat Ali and Fatima. It is said that after the Saqifah incident, and Ali and some of his companions refused to pledge allegiance to Abu Bakr, the supporters of the first caliph rushed to Ali's house to take the pledge of allegiance. In this attack, Hazrat Fatima was martyred due to the severity of her injuries. Confiscation of Fadak. Some historical analysts believe that taking Fadak from Hazrat Fatima after Saqifah was for economic struggle with al-Bayt. This work both strengthened the foundations of the first caliph's rule and prevented the struggle and opposition of the Prophet's family. Karbala incident. According to the belief of some analysts, the change in the path of the Prophet's succession in Saqifah caused that no law was followed in choosing the caliph. Therefore, the caliph of the Muslims was chosen in different ways until after Muawiyah, Yazid took over the government. Yazid was also responsible for the Karbala incident. Dear friends, all the content said in this video are based on reliable Sunni and Shia sources and books. Please give us your comments about this video and this historic event. We are waiting for your suggestions for making future videos.